It's a wonderful afternoon, and we thank God for His blessings on our lives. We want to welcome all our viewers once again to the virtual 38th Ghana National Association of Adventist Students Congress 2020 and to the fourth day of our seminars. We are glad you are able to join us for today's session. Yesterday, we were privileged with the man of God, Dr. Josiah B. Ando, who came our way with the topic, Seasons of Relationship. Today, by God's grace, we have in our midst our Elder Edmond K. Nkansa, who will take us through the topic, Unlocking the Doors to Financial Fulfillment, Comprehending the Basics. There will be an interactive session after he's spoken, and viewers can once again send in their questions and contributions to the number 0559 680066. 0559-680066. I'm Lydia Kwe, your host. Stay tuned.
Thank you, Lydia. And good afternoon to everyone. God has been so good to us, and therefore we need to be grateful to Him. I wish to also commend the organizers, especially the leadership of GNAAS and Hope TV, for putting up such a wonderful program to build our youth in the country. Well done. As the moderator said, the title for our discussion this afternoon is Unlocking the Doors to Financial Fulfillment, Comprehending the Basics. I believe everyone needs money, because as one expert puts it, money is the wheel on which life travels. Therefore, we are going to talk about money and wealth. And as we are about to talk about money and wealth, I need to say this, that there are two major categories of incomes and wealth. And these two are ethical incomes and wealth and unethical. The ethical ones are those that are acquired in accordance with God's principles, and the unethical ones are those that are acquired wrongly. And therefore, as we discuss this topic, we are discussing it in the context of the ethical incomes and wealth. So, looking at the title of today's discussion, we see the key clause, which is financial fulfillment. Financial fulfillment means so much, and it has several names. The other common names are financial freedom, financial independence, financial security, and other experts call it autopiloting stage of financial status. Any of these mean the same. And for the sake of those who would like to read and study further into this topic, we shall be using the most commonest clause, which is financial freedom or financial independence. What is it at all? To explain this, I need to explain something else first. And what I need to explain first are the categories of incomes that we earn. There are two major categories, but there is a minor one also in addition, making three. So I would like to explain those ones and use them to explain what financial fulfillment or financial independence means. You know, taking stewardship, we talk of 4 pillars of stewardship. And these 4 pillars, we usually use the term 4 T's. That are body tempo, talents, time, and treasure. In these 4, we have 3 that we call primary resources. The 3 are the body tempo, the talents, and the time. These are called primary resources. Why? Because they were given to man before birth. So they were primarily given before we came to this world from our mother's womb. That is why they are called primary. And the body temple provides the strength and the energy to work. The talents are those that we polish to become skills to work. Then we combine them with time. Anytime that these primary resources are combined to work, we say we are doing active work. And this active work creates what we call active income or earned income. So that is the first type of income, active or earned income, accruing from active work. Then we move to the second stage, which is taking the treasure. The treasure refers to the money or the wealth that we came to meet. So we work to get the money, and the money becomes a secondary resource. So anytime that you work to get money, save some and use it to also create money, that money working is called money at work or passive investment. And anytime that your money works to create further money, that income that accrues from that money is called passive income. Take note of these two types of incomes, active income and passive income, because they have serious financial implications in life that a lot of people are not aware. So take note of them. Then the last category of income is called unearned income. Unearned income. That means we don't work for them. And examples of this unearned income, third category, are gifts and inheritances. So these are the three categories of incomes that we have. Now we are using these to define or explain what financial fulfillment or financial independence means. Financial independence occurs when you and your dependents can primarily depend only on passive income. On passive income, without active and unearned, that is gifts and inheritances. So it's a relationship between your daily expenses and passive income. That is what we use to determine financial independence or financial freedom. You know, active income comprises all the salaries and the wages that we receive as employees. So all employees are doing active work and they receive active incomes. Now, when we talk of financial independence, one, that is the one that God desires every man achieves. Why? Deuteronomy 28:12 says something. God said, I will bless you to the extent that you will be lending and you will never borrow. When anyone is lending and giving donations and so on and so forth, and he is not borrowing, and he is still okay, it implies that the person would have achieved financial independence. That is the will of God. Why do we call it financial freedom or financial independence? We call it so because the primary resources, that is your body, your physical body, your time and your skills, might be free because you are earning so much from passive investments, from your money at work, to the extent that your money, your source of income, is no more depending on your physical presence, your time, and your skills. So your primary resources have attained their freedom now. They have attained their independence, and that is why experts call it financial freedom or financial independence. Financial freedom or financial fulfillment does not necessarily mean being fabulously rich like Bill Gates and so on. No. It only means your passive incomes can sustain you for years, not one day, for years. and that will be okay. Unfortunately, in most parts of the world, most people are not aware of this. And because most people are not aware, most people do not work towards that. In fact, globally, it's only 10% who are aware of this and therefore work towards it. 90% are not aware, and because of that, 90% of world population attempt to achieve financial independence or financial fulfillment through active income. In Ghana, only 2% achieve financial independence at retirement age. Very sad. How do we achieve financial independence or financial fulfillment? Financial independence does not depend on your high level of education. It is not a guarantee. Neither is the type of work nor where you work, nor even your high level of income, even though they are all very, very important. Even your hard work is not a guarantee, but most people believe so. What about being born by rich parents? It is not a guarantee, neither. What about being spiritual? It is neither a guarantee. What about being having a favored political party in power? Is not a guarantee. Though all these are very important, they are not guarantees. Then what are the critical factors? We are going to discuss about 8 critical factors that will ensure that you enter into this zone. Number 1, high financial intelligence or high financial literacy is the first that we are going to discuss. When you read 2 Timothy 2:5, Paul says that anyone who enters into any competition will never be crowned with the winner's crown unless the person competes according to the laws of the game. In fact, that applies to every aspect of life. In life, every aspect is in competition. It's a game. That is why health has its own principles and laws. That anyone who wants to be healthy, you need to learn more of health principles, health laws, and apply them before you can be healthy. That is why marriage has its own laws and principles. If you need to have a sound marriage, you have to learn about them and apply them. Likewise, money. Money and financial sources also, as an aspect of life, has its own laws and principles that one has to learn and apply in order to succeed. Therefore, financial literacy or financial independence is a deliberate and continuous acquisition of right information and knowledge about the laws of money and financial sources. Unfortunately, this is not taught in schools. This is not part of our normal or formal school curriculum because it is not accounting, because it is not economics, because it is not banking, because it is not finance. Why? Because part of money laws are scattered in all subjects in life, and therefore we don't have it as a separate course in schools. Where are the sources? To get financial knowledge, financial literacy, financial independence, one need to be attending seminars. One need to be reading a lot of financial literacy books, wealth creation books. They are scattered around that everyone can lay hands on, 10 Ghana, 20 Ghana, and so on, and read. One has to get a personal coach, a mentor, to mentor somebody who has achieved it or somebody who is an expert in it. who is knowledgeable in this area, or one can observe. These four provides the sources to have high financial literacy knowledge. That is why some educated people are poor or average, but even those who are not highly educated can be financially successful, because if they have access to these things, they can move very fast. And that is why some people who become rich also fall. Why? Because you can rise above your knowledge. So if somebody becomes very rich and has low financial knowledge, it's a matter of time the person will be coming down gradually until the level of financial literacy that the person might have gotten. I would like to encourage our young ones to be attending seminars and to be buying more of financial literacy books in order to enhance their financial literacy levels. Number two, financial planning. Financial planning. It is said that failure to plan is planning to fail. And it said that it's extremely difficult to achieve the target that you haven't set. Why? Because with that goalpost, it's very difficult to score goals. Therefore, financial planning means using the information and knowledge acquired through financial literacy to plan and set goals about your occupational and financial life. So setting occupational and financial goals is part of your financial planning. But your financial planning must encompass three dimensions: short-term, medium-term, and long-term. Short-term means the goals could be achieved within a day, 2 days, up to 1 year. Medium-term means the goals could be achieved between 1 and 3 years. Long-term goals means the goals will be achieved beyond 3 years. My research in the advanced countries reveals something. While students are in schools, a lot of them will be attending seminars, buying books and so on, having personal mentors to mentor them in order to achieve financial success, financial independence. Therefore, they acquire high level of financial literacy. So whilst in school before graduation, they would have a long-term planning of their life. Some of them will be telling you, I want to achieve financial independence by the age of 40. Some will tell you, I want to achieve it by the age of 35. And by 35 years, I will want to retire and be alone. And lo and behold, a lot of them are able to achieve it and retire from work, from active work. Even if they want to work not because of money, but they want to work because of health reasons or for leisure. What do we see in our part of the world? A lot of people, even up to 50 years, would not have gotten any long-term financial plan. But I would like to say that it's highly suicidal to move through life with only short-term plans, short-term goals, without a long-term financial plan and long-term financial goals. I believe my listeners, our viewers, are going to change. We are going to be different among our contemporaries in our societies. Number three is financial discipline. Financial discipline. In 1 Corinthians 9:26 and 27, Paul said, I discipline myself and make my body a slave so that I am not disqualified from the prize ahead of me. I put myself under self-control, strict discipline. Why? Because I want to achieve certain goals in life. Financial discipline means one's ability to go strictly by what the person would have planned. If I plan that every month I want to save 100 Ghana cedis out of my income and put it into certain investment, and every month I'm able to do it, then I'll be said to have had a high financial discipline. Whatever you plan to do, if you are able to go by it, then we talk of you being disciplined financially. But financial discipline does not depend on age, nor your level of education, nor your spirituality, or your gender. It depends on your commitment towards the achievement of your goals. If you are passionate of achieving your goals, then your financial discipline will also be high. It also depends on your financial literacy rate, and it also depends on your ability to withstand societal pressure. Assuming you have told yourself, I have 4 funeral clothes, I'm not going to buy any more. Then there's a funeral, and your family members or your friends, your church members tell you, oh, we are all buying this type of cloth. Will you buy? If you don't buy, look at the insult and the embarrassment that you are going to encounter. If you buy, have you been financially disciplined? And this is the issue. If you are able to withstand societal pressure, you will be able to achieve your financial goals. But that is very difficult for a lot of people in our societies. And I believe you are going to be different when it comes to financial matters. Then we move on to the 4th point. The 4th point is you need to be engaged in active work to earn active income. After all, if you acquire all the financial literacy information and do all the good plans, and you are not working to earn any income, where are you going to get the money to implement your plans? So it becomes very critical for one to be employed, whether self-employed or being an employee, to be able to earn active incomes. Then you can take something to implement your medium and your long-term plans. But I must say that it is not just working, but learning to apply best practices to be able to earn increasing levels of income so that you can achieve your plans early in life. Number 5 is be strategic in managing your income. Being strategic means balancing, spreading the income. In fact, strategic money management is one of the hardest skills in life. It's very difficult for a lot of people. And I must say that acquiring strategic money management skill is far more important than money itself. Why? Being strategic in managing your incomes take care of a whole lot of things. It take care of meeting physical and spiritual needs, present and future needs, short-term and long-term needs, consumption and investment needs, hard and soft financial needs, tangible and intangible needs, emergency and non-emergency needs. In fact, it covers all dimensions in life. But simply put, all these things can be grouped into 4. That means after one earns income, one needs to allocate among 4 major entities. If one is able to do that, then we say the person has been strategic in managing the incomes. Who are the 4 entities? Number 1, government, through taxes. Number 2, God, through tithes, offerings, project harvests, and all the monies that we advance to further the work of God. Then, if one's income, taxes are deducted and God's portion is deducted, whatever is left is taken like a fruit. In every fruit, there are food. This principle means taking savings out of your income first. Savings which is taken represents the seed in that income. And this seed also represents your future greatness, your future prosperity, your future achievement of financial independence, financial fulfillment. This seed is futuristic. So that is pay yourself first principle. Then we come to the last entity, which is pay others. Paying others is not about charity, because charity is taken care of under God. Paying others here means consumption. Paying others here means present needs. If you pay for your child's school fees, what you are doing is, in personal finance balance, we say that you are helping the proprietor, the school owner, to increase his or her profits. When you buy credit for your mobile phone, in personal finance balance, we say that you are increasing the profit of the mobile phone companies in order to increase the dividends for the shareholders. So you are paying the shareholders to become richer. That is pay others. Last principle. It's about consumption and it's about present needs. So there are a lot of people, when after receiving their incomes, pay everyone except themselves. Government deducts the tax, then they send part to the church to further God's work, then the rest are used to pay all others except themselves. What are they doing? All that they are saying is that I want government work to move, God's work to move, all other people become rich except me. I don't want to become rich because he failed to pay himself. There are others too who save something, but what do they use it for? To buy a personal car, to build a personal house. We are not saying they are bad. No, they are good. To buy consumer durables. We are not saying it's bad, it's good. But what does it mean? No investment at all. What it means is that in our societies, we call such people rich people because you might have been owning a car, a personal car or a personal house, and we think they are rich. In personal finance, we say that these people have achieved what we call cosmetic financial success. They are not part of rich people. They have only achieved cosmetic financial success. It's not bad, but they should go beyond that. Now that leads us to another thing which we call money battle. What is money battle? Money battle is nothing but a battle of choice between current needs and future needs. Anytime that you earn an income and you are able to remove saving, something as a saving with the intention to invest, you have made your future win the battle. What does it mean? It means you are brightening your future's financial status. Anytime that you refuse to take savings out of your income, what you mean is that you have made the present to win the battle against your future. And it means that you have set yourself on the path of poverty and mediocrity. In this, you can see something. Consider the savings rate around the world. Chinese and the Jews have an average savings rate of 56% of their incomes. And that is why when you go to every country, these people, the Jews and the Chinese, are those who are prospering very fast. Followed by the Japanese. The Japanese have an average rate of savings rate of 25%. Then the Europeans, follow with 22%, the Americans follow with 14%, whilst Africans are the last of among all the continents with 7%. 7%. What does it mean? That is why, or partly account for the reason why Africa, boasting of about 40% of the global productive resources, largest compared to any other continent, is the Africans who are the most miserable around the world. Because we are consumption oriented, we have high propensity to consume rather than to save. And I believe our hearers, our listeners, our viewers are going to be different. We are going to be savings oriented people in order to brighten our future and to attain financial independence and prosper financially in accordance with God's will. Number 6, channel savings into passive investments. Passive investments include financial products, real estate, agricultural plantations, long-term crops, transport business, and so on and so forth. But why passive investments? Passive investments because of certain characteristics. Let me tell you one thing. Human beings are very frail and very vulnerable. We are so much limited in every aspect of life, in space and time and in health. How long do we work? 8 hours. Sleep 8 hours. How much does your money work for you? Take financial product. How long and how hard does it work? Financial product, the interest that accrue from financial product like a treasury bill is 24 hours in a day, 7 hours a week, and every day. So if you invest in financial product for 2 years, it's every day of the 2 years. So you see how long and how hard it works. Take an agriculturist who has a cocoa farm, coconut, cashew, and so on. How long does it work? You see that whilst you are asleep, the 8 hours sleeping, it will be flowering. So it works 24 hours a day, 7 hours a week, and every time. But how long do you work? So you see how hard and how long your money works for you. And your money can be working at various locations, but you are limited at a place. And that is why those who are prospering, those who are achieving financial independence, rely on passive investments to achieve that. That is number 6. Number 7 is making time your ally. Making time your ally. You have to avoid get rich quick schemes because it doesn't help. It usually causes downfalls. You have to give time to your investment. That is why you have to cultivate and polish your waiting and your patience skills so that you allow your investment to compound in order to give you or to do the trick for you. Then the last one, number 8, is that seek God's favor. You have to seek heavenly support to help you achieve your financial progress. So, whatever you are doing, if you want to achieve financial success, financial independence, is the combination of your effort and God's favor. That is why Psalm 127 verse 1 says, except the Lord builds the builder builds in vain, except the Lord watches the city, the security people do in vain. So we need God's help to lift and to help us to achieve our financial progress and our financial goals. But being able to get or to obtain God's favor depends on your personal commitment towards God, your financial commitment towards God's work, and your financial commitment to the underprivileged and the vulnerable in society. To conclude, I must borrow from the theme of this program and to ask every viewer and listener to say with me that, as for me, I will do the needful, and together with God's favor, I'm sure I'm going to achieve financial fulfillment, financial independence, in order to be able to significantly give to further God's work, to be able to give charity to the underprivileged and the vulnerable, and to be able to get sufficient also to handle my family to the glory of God. May God bless you. Amen.
Amen. We thank you, Elder, for those sweet words and for such educative lecture. As for me, I would achieve financial fulfillment. Viewers, our interactive session will begin very shortly, and then once again, you can send in your questions and contributions through the number 0559 680066, 0559 680066. But before that, we'll go on a short break. We'll be back soon. Stay tuned.
The junior scientists from the eastern region of Ghana were great, weren't they? Well, voting is still open. Go to www.wegoinnovate.org right now and vote for your favorite experiment. You can vote as many times as you like. It's free. And now, this week on the GH for STEM Juniors Challenge, we are in the Upper East region of Ghana, where some junior scientists have some incredible experiments to show. And you will decide which of these 3 experiments should go to the next stage of the challenge by voting at www.wegoinnovate.org. You can vote as many times as you like. It's free. Now showing on Hope Channel Ghana, this and every Thursday at 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Catch the repeat on Sundays at 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Don't forget to vote for your favorite experiment at www.wegoinnovate.org. You can vote as many times as you like. It's free. And follow at We Go Innovate on all social media platforms.
This COVID-19 era, where all of us are at home and we can't go to church, you all agree with me that Hope Channel has done a marvelous work. All the programs, the various Sabbath worships, and the other spirit-filled programs that have been beaming on the channel has been of great help, and it has been nourishing to church members, both spiritually and even to help us in our various businesses and our various daily activities. And at this time, when we are celebrating the second anniversary, and I appeal to all of us to help so that we can contribute to make the channel viable and to continue also to present the various programs that will help the church members to grow. And we pray that they will continue with the good work. God bless all of you as we continue to contribute to support the channel.
Hope Channel, changing lives.
Welcome back, lovely viewers. To our viewers who may have just joined in, we want to welcome you to the 38th virtual 38th GNAAS Congress, and to the interactive session of today's seminar dubbed Unlocking the Doors to Financial Fulfillment, Comprehending the Basics. Once again, the number is 05596800066, 05596800066. You can send in your contributions and your questions. So, Elder, I want to welcome you once again to this interactive session. And as we wait for our viewers to send in their questions, I have 1 or 2 questions I would also want to ask. And so, you mentioned that in our quest to achieving financial performance, we have to learn to save. That is, paying ourselves. Yeah. And so, which medium would you consider appropriate for saving? Like, what would be the best way to save as we pay ourselves?
Okay. That depends on different people.
Okay.
For those who are employees, the best means is to have a standing order. So you go to your bank and request for a standing order form, or some of the banks have them online. So you complete them, you just sign and give to the banks.
Okay.
That whatever is paid onto your accounts, they must deduct so much and put into this place.
Okay.
So what is left will be yours. And that is what I saw in the advanced countries through my research. A lot of the young ones, straight standing order, deduct 10%, send it to buy a treasury bill, deduct 10%, send it to this company for shares and so on. So that is that. So whenever he goes to the bank, is the leftover. Okay. But here, some people may be self-employed. Sometimes some of them may not even have bank accounts. But those who have bank accounts and even they are self-employed, they can still use the standing order approach, and that will help them. Those who do not have bank accounts, then they need to open bank account and save on them. And when it grows to a certain point, they can take and put into certain investments.
Okay, thank you, Oda. Would you still recommend using a susu box as a way of saving? Would you recommend that, in the olden, or I think some still use that method, putting money in susu boxes and the rest? Would you still recommend that as a means of saving for us?
It's a wonderful approach.
Okay.
But I'm saying wonderful approach because do you know what I saw in advanced countries?
No.
Over there, they don't operate their pricing system as we have them here in Africa. Over there, you will not see any product which costs $10, $15, $20. You will not see them. You will see, if instead of 10, you will see $9.98. So if you give 10, they will give you 2 pence.
Wow.
You see, if it's $20, it will be 19.95 or 98. So always there are those little coins. And those who have set goals have the box so that all those coins are piled up there. Every 3 months or at a point in time, they send into the accounts, channeled into investment.
Wow.
In addition to what they are actually doing. So over here, you see, those coins that, especially our ladies and even everyone, those coins that are balances, the 20 pesos, 50 pesos, and the 1 Ghana cedis are much abused because we don't know how to use, and we use it for water or for chewing gum and so on and so forth. It's better you have your susu box so that you deposit them there. Whilst you have an approach of saving towards investment, but do this as a supplementary. At a point in time, you see how much you have there that you can add. So it's a very wonderful approach.
Thanks, Elder. And what do you think about high-risk investments as well? Would you recommend that even as we save?
High-risk investment. What do you mean by high-risk investment? Because you see, it's true that there are certain investments that are low risk, like treasury bills. We call them low risk or zero risk. But in business, all kinds of businesses are high risk. Just take a tomato farmer. And somebody may think he's not a high risk. But when the rain fails, all the money is gone. When the rain is too much, all the money is gone. So you see the problem. Take the one, take any type of business, it's high risk. The only thing is that when anyone is venturing into any business, you must do a lot of due diligence. Okay. Any investment, do a lot of due diligence to reduce the risk. Take certain measures to minimize the risk. And that is what we call a calculated risk. Okay. So those who learn a lot about investment and money issues, those who acquire high financial literacy, always minimize their risk of investing.
Thanks so much, Elder. And sometimes you hear some parents say, I'm investing in my child's education, and so I'm investing for myself. Is that a form of investment to the child or to the parents themselves?
Okay. All of us heard it because our parents told us so. Yeah. And we've been hearing everywhere. And you know, I've traveled around the country. I've done a lot of seminars around the country for in the past 15 years. And I've been hearing wherever I go. A lot of people ask, Elder, what about if I don't do any investment and I invest in my child? There are 2 or 3 questions that I ask such people. You do that investment in your child, and you've done well, and God expects you to do it. So it's very good. But if that is the only thing that you do, and you fail to do any other investment, then let me ask you these questions. Have you seen, or haven't you seen, people who have invested so much in their children? They did a farming to take care of their children. They do the petty trading to take care of their children. And when their children grew, traveled overseas or even in our cities, they failed to take care of the parents. Yeah. Haven't you seen some before? They say, yes, if that happens, what will you do? So is there a guarantee that your child will surely take care of you? There's no guarantee. That is number 1. Number 2, is there a guarantee that your child, or is there a guarantee that you will die before your child? Haven't you seen people, yes, the child is taking care of the parent, but the child can die before the parent. If you have nothing else, what can you do? Haven't you seen one before? And they said, yes, we have seen. And so I always tell them, those things are signs telling you that, yes, invest in the child, and God expects you to do it. And if you do it, you have done well, wonderful. But still, you must have your passive investment. The small, the 10 Ghana cedi, the 20 Ghana cedi, the 50 Ghana cedis that you do outside your child education, that you save somewhere and channel into maybe financial investment, financial products, and so on and so forth, will take care of you even outside your child. I invested in my children not because I had wanted my children to take care of me in my old age. No. It is because it is my duty to do that. If they do, thank God, that's by His grace. It's just a grace. That's that.
Thank you, Elder. We have some questions here from our viewers, and this is without any name. Says, thank you very much, Elder, for your presentation. God bless you. I have 2 questions to ask. With respect to financial discipline, it is very difficult among students. In school, anything expenses can come up at any time. My question is, how do we adjust our already planned finances for, say, the semester and the unknown expenses that might pop up? I don't know if the question is really...
Okay, let me start by saying that if you are a student, you may decide not to be saving towards your future. Not to be saving towards your investment. You make sure you complete your education. Except probably those who are coming from rich homes. I came from a poor home, and therefore I had to work, get some small money, and work out my education. So I was taking care of myself in schools. So a lot of people are taking care of themselves in school, and therefore they need not to worry about investing while they are in schools. But if you have the chance to be saving towards investment in schools, then do it. In that case, then you need to make sure you avoid unnecessary expenditures.
Okay.
There are a whole lot of expenditures that are unnecessary. But if you are not financially disciplined, you'll be spending like that. And especially, we are being influenced by peer pressure. So we need to be mindful of peer pressure and societal pressures.
Right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Elder. So it's possible to save, but you should know yourself first
Yes.
and where you are from.
Yes.
Okay, thanks, Elder. The next question is, after the collapse of banks in 2016, merging of the 7 banks in 2017, and Ponzi schemes that has come up in the past, people have now lost interest in banking system, and as such, investing is becoming difficult. Please, what advice will you give to us on that, especially with respect to the youth now, because investing is a vital part of being financially dependent? This person's question.
Yes, sir. He has said it right. Investment is the foundation of financial prosperity, of becoming financially independent. So there's no way, you see, it's not an option. If you want to, how will you go?
Through another medium.
Through another medium. So there are several mediums. So, financial products is just one of the vehicles, investment vehicles to achieve your aim. And I would advise that when you see accident,
Okay.
it doesn't mean that you shouldn't drive again.
Yeah.
It's a signal to give you a lesson that you must be very careful when you are driving, but not to stop you from driving. I must say that now it's good to do or to take financial investments in Ghana. It's good. So I'm encouraging those who have lost confidence that it's good to do investment in financial products in Ghana. And I also advise that even if you are doing investment in any other sector, add financial product. Okay. At least have two. Have financial product and have another one. Do you know why I'm advising this?
No.
Is this. You may have invested in real estate. Okay. But when something happens, assuming this pandemic issue, when it came, and your job, and you lose your job, you have two investments, real estate, financial products. You see, it becomes very difficult to dispose the real estate. Disposing real estate takes some time. But can't you get quick access to your financial product?
Okay.
Quick access. So you see, financial product provide the liquidity, quick access when you are in trouble. But the returns is smaller. Yeah. That is why I usually advise that have at least two. Those that have good returns, but that takes time to dispose of or to get the money. Then those that have low returns, but that are more liquid, like financial products. So that when you are in trouble, you can rely on the liquid one. And when you combine with the high growth ones, you can achieve your financial prosperity or financial independence in time.
All right. Thanks, Elder. There's another one from Asamoah Clements from UCC. He says, thanks, Elder, for such a great presentation. During your presentation, you suggested we read more financial literacy books. Please, my question is there any recommendation you will make for us, since there are a lot of books out there?
A wonderful question. Almost all the books talks about certain aspects of wealth creation. Almost all the books talks about certain aspects of wealth creation, of becoming prospering. Almost all of them. None of them talks about everything. Yeah. So I myself have read about 30,000 books.
Wow.
Over the past 30 years.
So much.
And I wish our young ones make it your aim to read 1,000. And you see where you will be. And it's your unique asset. You have control over it. And it will take you far. Otherwise, if you acquire only the academic credential, you are likely, you see, a lot of educated people have remained average and will take it to retirement and suffer because they lack financial knowledge. So acquire more and more. Then, so let me let me give you.
Okay.
There was one guy that a lot of financial experts call him financial guru or wealth creation guru in the world. He's called Robert Kiyosaki. Okay. He's a Japanese but naturalized American. Okay. So he's residing in America. He's written several books. His first book was what is titled Rich Dad, Poor Dad. That is the first book. He's written several books. Read Kiyosaki's books and you will never be the same. Wow. You will never be the same. So buy Kiyosaki's books. There's one guy, a Nigerian, called Praise George. His books are in abundance on the streets, on the tables, in the bookshops, here. He's written so many books. And he'll tell you his background. Very poor. And it's through the books, true books, that he became like that. And several books. Ghanaians have written several books. There are several books in Ghana here that you can lay hands on. And let me introduce one book here. This is a book, Managing Money from Divine Perspective. Okay. It was put together by South Ghana Union of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. South Ghana Union has a committee called Wealth Creation Committee, experts who put up this book for the union and for the country. And it was distributed to all the conferences and all the districts. But a lot of them are still in the districts and in the churches and in the conferences, and few people bought them. Just 10 Ghana cedis. Read it and you will never be the same. So if you need it, contact any of your pastors in South Ghana Union. In North Ghana Union, some of the conferences has it, okay, and the union has it. Those who are listening to me in Kumasi, go to Bantama Church Pastor. He has a lot of them there. Go to the union and he has. And some of the conferences also have. Okay. We have in abundance in our union here and in our conferences. Anyone who wants to even pick some to sell or buy some and read, they are there. But let me encourage our young ones, buy the books, because they will push you and they will lead you into financial success.
Thank you, Elder. There's one from Lord Odro UCC. He says, thank you very much for such an educative and insightful lesson. The second point was financial discipline, where you said emphatically that it is one's ability to go straightly to whatever he or she has planned for. Having this mind, how do we cater for emergencies?
Okay, that's very good. But in your plan, the plan must take care of the event,
okay,
of the emergencies. When you are planning, there must be contingency, okay, emergencies. If you don't have it, include it. Because you see, some emergencies are very, very important, but some emergencies are not. Yeah. Like I said, you see, a lot of ladies and a lot of men have about 8 funeral clothes. Then somebody dies in your family, and they want you to buy. Is it an emergency? It's not. It's part of the emergencies. It has just suddenly happened, yeah, but do you need to buy it? So it's an emergency, but it's an unnecessary expenditure. Okay. But there are certain emergencies, like sicknesses, and so on and so forth. You need to take care. Even if you haven't planned it, you need to take care. But when you are planning, consider those things. But let me also say this. You see, when you are planning financially, everyone need to create what we call emergency fund. It's one thing that a lot of people lack in developing countries. Creating emergency fund. And the emergency fund must be in your room. You must have your emergency fund in your room, except when it is big. Then part of it must be saved with the bank, but part of it must be as a necessity, be with you. Because what happens when your child gets sick in the night? Okay. How can you get the money to charter a taxi and rush to the hospital? When you rush there, how can you get the money if you are asked to pay something or to buy something? So you must create an emergency fund with you, everyone. But that is one thing that in developing countries we lack. So a lot of people, when it happens, they start going around from people to people. You see, at the ministries, a director died. Why? He fell sick. He was rushed to one of the hospitals, and he was asked to pay just a minimal amount for a surgery. And the wife ran from friend to friend. He couldn't get the money. 2 days later, he rushed to the workplace. They asked him to bring a letter. He brought that letter, made it to director this, to director this, to director this. The next day, that director is gone. No emergency fund that the wife could have used. So a lot of people are dying, and we are losing our children because of lack of emergency fund. We are losing our wives, we are losing our husbands for lack of emergency fund. Every human being, everyone, whilst you are working, you must create emergency fund. That is with you. Show your wife, show your husband, so that when it's an emergency, especially health issues, they can lay hands on and use it to save you. Okay.
So in relation to that, there's a question here. It says, is it good to do insurance?
Very good.
And that's the question.
Very good to do insurance, but it depends what type of insurance. Insurance is very, insurance is a risk management tool. Okay. It's a risk management tool. So, you see, when you want to achieve financial independence, or when you want to achieve financial progress, financial success, you must, as a necessity, do a whole lot of risk management issues. You have to learn about it, and you have to apply them, and insurance is one of them.
All right. Thanks, Elder. So, do you have any final words you would want to give to our viewers? Any final words on what you've taught us today?
Okay. My final words are these. This students program, eh? So I believe a lot of students are listening to me. See, when you read Numbers 8 from verse 23, God has apportioned human life into three. First 25 years is the learning stage. Between 25 and 50 is the working and earning stage. After 50 years are the enjoyment stage. Do you know one thing? When you are in the learning stage up to 25 years, your source of income is the unearned, the donations, the gifts. That is the bulk. When you start working, probably after 25 years to 50 years, is the earning stage. The first part of the earning stage, 25 to 40 years, your active income, your wages and your salaries, your active income are usually larger than the gifts and the passive. But everyone must make sure that from 40 years, it turns. The passive income must overtake the active income. It must become larger than the active income. Then when you are on retirement and the active income ceases, the passive income, which overtook the active income, can sustain you and make you happy. And therefore, during the working stage, from 25 up to 40 years, you need to do a lot of savings and put into passive investments so that at 40 years, you can achieve that. The passive income can see this. That is where we shall say that you would have achieved financial independence, and that is what we call financial prosperity. God wants everyone, every child of God, to prosper in life, and therefore I wish you, going by this and praying to God for his favors, God will surely take you there, lift you there. God bless you all.
Amen. Amen. Elder, thank you so much for making time to share these wonderful thoughts with us. It has been very educative, and I believe our viewers have been blessed too. God bless you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So, lovely viewers, this is where our session ends today. If we have any extra questions and contributions, you can still send to the number I put forth earlier, and your questions and contributions, your questions will be duly attended to. And so we thank you for being able to join us for today's session. Once again, we had with us Elder Edmond K. Nkansa speaking to us on how to achieve financial fulfillment. And I'm Lydia Kwe, your host. Stay tuned for all our other sessions. God bless you.
God has specially given us Hope Channel Ghana to be a special avenue for mission and ministry. I believe you all want to keep Hope Channel on air to come out with spirit-filled, mission-oriented, cutting-edge programs. That is why I would want to encourage all of us to give bountifully, even as they have this fundraiser on the 1st of August. Give bountifully towards this